Hi viewers, this video I'm going to explain about troubleshooting HTTP error 400. So when VDI users connecting the horizon client or a horizon web client, they are getting that error HTTP error 400. So it could be multiple possibilities to user getting this type of error. So I will explain one by one. Okay, how to troubleshoot this type of issues if in your environment the user facing HTTP error 400. Okay. So first, so I listed all this possible troubleshooting about this error message. So before enter into this troubleshooting steps, so first we need to understand how the communication is happening from horizon client to your connection servers. Okay. So I draw one architectural diagram. Okay, so this diagram will help you to understand clearly how that the process of communications, the workflow. Okay, so here you can see that here you can see the three components. Okay, one is horizon client, so another one virtual appliance, that is a UAG access gateway. So another one connection server. Okay. So horizon client is part of end user device. So user would be external or internal. Okay. The UAGs mostly in any all the organizations, mostly the UAGs placed in our DMZ networks. Okay. Connection server it should be on internal networks. Okay. So here I draw the flow. Okay, and what are the port it is using for these connections. Okay. So see here. So this is the horizon client. Okay. So wait, let me change. So this is the horizon client end user device. So maybe it would be any device. Okay. Laptop, desktop, thin client, or mobile Android phone, anything. Okay, but horizon client that is a tool we are going to use here because this video for horizon VDA infrastructures. Okay. So when user connecting that horizon client, okay, here they are using the server name, okay, the external server name or some URLs, that is a workspace URLs, the tenant URLs, okay. So here they are connecting this server name or URLs, okay, the workspace one URL. So actually the horizon client send the HTTP request to your virtual appliance UAGs, Unified Access Gateway. So this request like this, okay. So in this request, the many information is there. Okay, see here the header. So what is the name of request? What is the web load balancer? If most of the organizations using the web load balancer and IP address, so fully qualified domain name, sometimes net bias and SSL certificate informations. Okay, so most of the informations that HTTP request create the package, okay, and send to the virtual appliance, the UAGs. Okay, the port number for the communications it should be 443. Okay, for HTTP because it's not most here I diagram the HTTP, but the secure connection so HTTPS mostly using the HTTPS. Okay, the virtual appliance, the UAGs. Okay, so it should respond based on these header informations. Based on these header informations, okay, that virtual appliance going to respond the HTTP. See here in the below, I mentioned the HTTP response header. Okay, in the response, it should be that, for example, authentications, the username password authentication or VDA section establishes. Okay, so most of the informations, the response header sent to the horizontal client. Okay, so in between, the UAG is going to check with our connection server for authentication or any VDA entitlement or for example, user requested for any new sections. Okay, the connection server is act as a broker here. So virtual appliance direct connect with the connection server and then response back to our horizontal client. Okay, so this is the flow. So see here, the flow, what the port number we are using. Okay, so in the horizontal client to, see here, the horizontal client to UAGs and connection servers. Okay, you can see the port number is 443. Okay, so 8443 here I am mentioning, and another, the 8443 is for blast stream protocol port number, and if some environment they are using PCOP means 4172 or the another one port number. So most of the organizations currently using the 8443. Okay, so the secure connections it is using 443. Okay, if you enter into the display protocols, once the authentications and VDI intermediate all brokering processes completed means, then 8443 is picture into the port, take care of display protocol established connection. So this is the flow. Okay, so here when we are getting this type of error, HTTP 400, okay, what scenario we will get the HTTP 400 error if anything happened in these communications. Okay, so the many possibilities is there. See here, I listed the what are the possibilities here. The first possibility is incorrect server name. So maybe the end user, okay, they are not using proper connection server or external UAG server name or external web. Sometimes most of the organization they are not export that connection server name and UAG's name. Instead of they are using some virtual IP or virtual name. Okay, so that is a common name they are using. Maybe that common name is not, maybe it's incorrect. Okay, for horizontal client scenarios. Okay, some scenarios. Okay, some scenarios, some of the customers using workspace one tenant URL. Okay, that is a tenant URL they are using. Okay, in this scenario, they are wrongly using, maybe that URL is incorrect. Okay, so in this scenario, we need to make sure the end user using correct server name. Which server name is established for external user connections, and maybe it sometimes it is vary in the internal connections. Okay, so we need to make sure internal and external. So which URL or server name it is allowed for end user to connect the VD environment. Okay, so first thing we need to make sure this is the correct server name or URL, or maybe they are using the workspace one tenant. Okay, we need to make sure that it's a correct URL, tenant URL they are using. Okay, so that is one first possibility. We need to make sure this issues called HTTP error 400. Okay, so second point, certificate issues. Okay, I think you guys know if you are working in the horizontal environment infrastructures engineer. Okay, so connection server and UAGs and regularly every year. Okay, we need to renew our SSL certificate. Okay, so in this scenario, if you unfortunately we are unable to renew the certificate, okay, the connection server or UAG certificate expired. Okay, so in this scenario also the users are getting possible to getting this error HTTP 400. Okay, so in this scenario, so we need to make sure. So next, so maybe the user's server username for everything is correct. Okay, next to go with this certificate. So ensure the certificate is valid. Okay, and sometimes if you recently renew the certificate, okay, make sure that new SAN name, that is subject alternative names, is correct. Correct subject alternative name is mentioned in the certificate, SSL certificate. That one we need to make sure and ensure the certificate is valid. Okay, and that is main thing for certificate point of view. Okay, this is also maybe something possible to causing these issues. Okay, so next, third options. Okay, so currently most of the UAGs are upgraded to 23.x. Okay, so in the latest version of UAG's appliance 23.x, okay, they are enhanced security. Okay, so in this case they have given some options. That is the option is allowed host header. So this option we need to configure correctly. So that is one thing we need to keep it in mind. If you getting the HTTP error 400, okay, the first option, second option is clear. Okay, third option, if you are upgraded UAGs or you are running the UAGs 23.12 or 23.x version, this version 23x, okay, or 23.12 version, okay. The allowed host header options we need to make sure. So here we need to clearly mention external facing, web or resolving DNS name. Let me write here. External DNS name. Okay, so we need to add here correctly. Okay, if you are adding wrong name here, you definitely will get that error, HTTP error 400, because when your HTTP request here, and see here in the diagram, when your HTTP request enter into the virtual appliance here, okay, so that HTTP request, it is not valid, because the header here, the allowed header, maybe you are given wrong informations. Okay, the HTTP throw the error is HTTP 400 in the end user side. Okay, so this option is very important if you are planning for upgrade the latest versions UAGs. Okay, so make sure allowed host header settings it should be used in our correct web and DNS name. So I already wrote one video. I already wrote the blog. Okay, and one video also I created already. So maybe I will given these informations in the in this video's descriptions. Okay, if you want to how to set up this allowed host header configuration means, you can see that blogs and videos. It will be very useful for you guys. Okay. So fourth options, firewall networking things. Okay, so firewall maybe so we need to make sure, okay, the firewall allowed to connect our server. Maybe you are connecting from the external users or you are from the internal users. Okay, so we need to make sure any changes happen in the firewall. If suddenly the issue happened means, maybe we need to make sure any changes happen in the infrastructures, or any changes happen in the end user side internet, or maybe office locations. Okay, that one we need to make sure. Okay, so and the network restrictions. Sometimes what happen any that important port numbers. So what are the port number is important? So let me write here 443 and 8443 and 4 ones. Just a minute, let me clarify. That is a PCO-IP protocol 4172. Sorry. Okay. So this 3 port number is very, very important for VDI connections externally. Okay. Internally, so most of the infrastructure, say a firewall is not there. Okay, but we need to make sure the firewalls are any changes happened for, and we need to ensure. I think we have the some command is there, right? If you are networking, people are administrators, you know that telnet command and TCP, and if you are using the PowerShell, TCP test connections command is there, right? So that command it is helps you to check the connectivity from your horizontal client to destinations. So source, which one you are going to check the port numbers. Okay, so use telnet command and TCP test connections to make sure this port number is established the connections without any issues. Okay, if anything the connection is not establishing means, it definitely we need to make sure it is port is allowed in the network and firewall side. That is important. Okay, and this another cases, the fifth cases. Okay, authentication failures sometimes. So if you are end user connecting to the VDI or try to launching the VDI means, the first part is authentication, right? So authentications, maybe you can authentication is done by two types. Okay, maybe if you are using workspace one concept. Okay, the authentication is done by identity provider with the help of Workspace ONE VIM connectors. Okay, or if you are not using the Workspace ONE infrastructures, but you are using normal horizontal client infrastructure means, so you need to communicate, you need to authenticate with your connection servers. Okay, connection server and Active Directories. Okay, so in this scenario, maybe sometimes user account is inactive. So suddenly the user account is expired. Okay, maybe the user are using wrong, maybe the password expired, but user using same password. Okay, and some cases what happened, the user typing keyboard problem. Okay, they are typing wrong password multiple times. In the time also account locked or authentication is not valid. Okay, so multiple factor is there. Okay, so we need to make sure authentication is successfully happening or not, and user using valid username password or not, and user account active or inactive, and blocked or unblocked. Okay, so many scenario we need to make sure the authentication side. Okay, because so see, the first, second, third, and fourth scenarios, everything is success. Okay, then next part we need to check on the authentication side. Okay, and authentication also is fine. Okay, next, sixth point, maybe horizontal client machine, maybe it is corrupted, or horizontal client side endpoint, right? Endpoint, because of most of the organizations using the endpoint. Okay, so endpoint means nothing but the productions of antivirus, Symantec, McAfee, and or Zscaler for monitoring their device. Okay, and Microsoft Intune, they're using some that high-end productions. Okay, in their laptops, maybe they are doing something in the end user device to monitoring their company data, their end device without connecting with any other infrastructures or any other abnormal things. Okay, so in this case, maybe horizontal client maybe is corrupted. Okay, maybe we will request user to reinstall the horizontal client, or sometime the endpoint, the user using antivirus, any antivirus, or any maybe most of the organizations currently using the Zscaler. Okay, maybe on CloudStrike. Okay, so we need to check the anything blocked our horizon related connections. Okay, that is the reason Omnisa horizon, they are shared the some exclusions list. Okay, so if you are using antivirus or any blocking related things in your endpoint, okay, or connection service, okay, they are sharing some exclusions list. Okay, those exclusion list, you can see the some KB article shared by the Omnisa. Okay, you can see in the, you just Google it, what are the horizon exclusion list for antivirus. Okay, for other endpoint softwares. Okay, in this those exclusion list, we need to make sure that the exclusion list enabled in our antivirus side, or any software related blocking, CloudStrike sensor related the blocking scenarios in the endpoint, right? So we need to make sure the horizon exclusion list is enabled in the policy in their endpoint softwares. That is very important. Okay, so most of the thing finally the if you are Omnisa engineer also, they finally they will given this horizon exclusions list. Okay, so these are the possibilities. Okay, it is happening. You can able to facing these issues. Okay, so if you want to advanced level, okay, sometimes what happen, so we are unable to find the solutions. Okay, in this case we need to check the NS DNS also. So, okay, in between the network part, we have to make sure the DNS resolver. So obviously you can use NS lookup, right? So NS lookup, and make sure your external web or name or resolving without any issues, and use traceset command. Use traceset command, check the reachability of each hub. Okay, each hub you can make sure the trace how that traffic is going, any dropping is there. So this is very advanced level things. You will understand the what actually happening in these issues. It will using some deep level informations. Okay, and finally you can go with horizon client logs, horizon view client logs, sorry, horizon client logs, and horizon connection server logs, log analysis things. Okay, so horizon connection server logs. Okay, and we can use the developer tool in the browser. Okay, some cases the user using workspace one concept, workspace one tenant URL concept. Okay, so in this case you can easily use use the some advanced tools in this web page. Okay, this just a minute. I will show you how to use that page. Okay, so here we have the options. For example, if I'm going to Google page, okay, so you can see some option here, the more tools, developer tools. Okay, this option is advanced level options. Maybe finally, if they are using web related things, you are facing this type of issue means they will ask the HR logs, HAR logs. Okay, let me type here. Omnisa team asking like this, the logs. HR logs from browser, web browser. Okay. So these logs have some more information about how the page in background is loading. Okay. So let me show you the developer tool. If you click this one means this page is loading here. Okay. Here we need to go the networks. Okay. So type Control R. Control R means recording these information. If you are doing anything here or any typing here means all the information is recording here. Okay. So mostly you will get most the informations in below lines. So each request, what happened actually. Okay. Or if you Omnisa engineer or VMware engineer asking that this log means you can download it from here. See the option for export HR logs. You can easily export the logs. Okay. Easily export the logs. I show you I just export that log. You can see the log. See here, there is a HR format. Okay, so this is a format. Maybe they will ask for advanced level troubleshootings. Okay, so I will give this detailed information how to troubleshoot this type of issues in my blog. Okay, I will show you that blog post here. Okay, you will see the more information about this blog advanced. So I clearly explained all this information in this blog. Okay, so each steps. If your environment facing any user facing this type of issue means you can use these blogs, and I clearly provide the information on how to troubleshoot these cases. Okay, but obviously if your issue is not resolved, okay, so then you just go ahead to raise the support case with Omnisa support finally if issue is not resolved. Okay. Mostly the issues resolved with you if you are using these blocks. Okay, I hope. So if you any suggestion, any additional queries, please post your comments in this video. I'm happy to help you. Thank you.